Eka Movir Omo. Hello everyone, I'm from Group 1. So now we are going to present about Nauru's country. So before we begin the presentation, allow me to introduce the members of my group. First, my name is Junaidy as the leader of the Group 1. And we have Josh as the secretary of Group 1. And we have Hiskia. And we have Miracle. And we have Alya. So we have worked together as a team to prepare this presentation. And we hope you find it informative and engaging. Now you might be wondering what exactly is Nauru. Where is it located? How did this small island nation rise and fall so dramatically? Well, stay with us as we dive deeper into the story of Nauru. So let's get started. Nauru, located in the Central Pacific Ocean, is a small island nation with an area of just 21 square kilometers, making it one of the smallest countries in the world. It is situated 42 kilometers south of the equator and approximately 3,000 kilometers northeast of Australia. The island's first known settlers were the Micronesians and Polynesians, who arrived around 3,000 years ago. They form a society structured around 12 clans, each of which plays a key role in Nauru's cultural identity today. European contact with Nauru began in 1798, when British navigator John Fern sighted the island, giving it the name Pleasant Island. However, it wasn't until the late 19th century that foreign powers started showing interest in the island, primarily due to its valuable phosphate deposits. In 1888, Nauru became a German colony as a part of the German Pacific Island. After World War I, Nauru came under Australian, British and New Zealand administration as part of a League of Nations mandate. During World War II, Nauru was occupied by Japan, resulting in the widespread destruction, including the deportation of many Nauruans to labor camps in Micronesia. Following Japan's defeat, Nauru became a United Nations tranship under Australia's administration, and by 1968, it gained full independence, becoming the world's smallest republic at the time. The discovery of phosphate deposits in the early 20th century had transformed Nauru's economy. Phosphate, a crucial mineral used in fertilizer production, was mined extensively by foreign companies and later by the Nauruan government. This discovery allowed Nauru to become one of the wealthiest countries per capita in the 1970s. However, by the late 1990s, Nauru's phosphate resources were nearly exhausted, and poor management and corruption had left the country in economic decline. Adopted upon independence in 1968, is rich in symbolism that reflects both the island's geographical location and its cultural heritage. The flag features a deep blue background representing the vast Pacific Ocean that surrounds the island nations. The color blue is a significant part of Nauru's identity, symbolizing both its geographical position and the importance of the sea to the islanders' way of life. The flag's most striking feature is the narrow horizontal gold stripes that runs across the center of the flag. This stripe represents the equator, a crucial reference point as Nauru lies directly south of it. The equator also serves as a cultural and geographical symbol for the island. Beneath the gold stripe is a 12-pointer white star, which holds particular importance for the Nauruan people. Each point of the star represents of the 12 original clans of Nauru, highlighting the cultural unity and social structure of the country. As of May 2nd, 2025, Nauru has an estimated population of 12,012 based on Worldometer's real-time data derived from United Nations projection. This marks a slight increase from 2024 estimate and 11,947, representing a population growth rate of approximately 0.61% per year. Nauru ranks 224th in the world in terms of population size, making it one of the smallest sovereign nations by population. Despite its small size, only 21 square kilometers inland area, the country has a high population density of about 597 people per square kilometer. This is largely due to the concentration of its inhabitants along the narrow coastal strip, as over 80% of Nauru's interior land mass has been rendered uninhabitable due to phosphate mining. The majority of the population lives in urban areas, with about 94.5% classified as urban dwellers. The capital city, Yaran, while not officially designated as such in the constitution, functions as the administrative and government hub. There is no formal capital city due to the island's small size. The ethnic composition is primarily Nauruan, around 93%, with minority groups including Kiribati, Tuvalans, Chinese, and Europeans.
Nauru is a very small island country in the Pacific Ocean. Even though it's small, Nauru has a rich and interesting culture. The culture of Nauru comes from its Micronesian roots, mixed with influences from other countries that controlled the island in the past, like Germany, Australia, and Japan. In the past, Nauruans wore traditional clothes like loincloths for women and grass skirts for women. Today, people mostly wear Western style clothes, but traditional clothing is still worn during special events or ceremonies. Nauruans enjoy music and dancing, especially traditional dances like Apesmoy that tell stories through movement. The music usually includes singing and drumming, and sometimes clapping or other simple instruments. The old Nauru beliefs were deeply spiritual and connected to nature. People believed in spirits and gods that live in the sea, the land, and the sky. Over time, foreign countries had a strong influence in Nauru. Germany took control of the island in the late 1800. Then, after World War I, it was managed by Australia, United Kingdom, and New Zealand. During World War II, Japan took over. After the war, the island went back under the control of the previous countries until Nauru became independent in 1868. During these times, Nauruans were introduced to Christianity, which is now the main religion on the island. Most people today are Protestant or Catholic, and churches are an important part of community life. Food in Nauru used to be very natural and fresh. People ate coconuts, pandanus fruit, breadfruit, taro, and fish like tuna. They gathered fruit from the land and the sea. But today, a lot of imported food is eaten, such as fried, canned meat, and sugary drinks. This change in diet has led to health problems like obesity. In Nauru, people use two main languages. It is Nauruan and English. Nauruan is the native language of the people. It comes from the Micronesian group of the Austronesian language family. That means it is related to languages spoken in other nearby islands, like in Kiribati and the Marshall Islands. But Nauruan is different enough that people from those islands can understand it easily. People in Nauru speak Nauru in daily life, especially at home and with family and friends. At first, Nauru was only a spoken language. Later, it was written down using the Latin alphabet or the same one English uses. Some spellings are different to match how Nauruan words sound.
Nauru is predominantly a Christian country, with the vast majority of its population adhering to First Christian denomination. According to the most recent census data and multiple sources, the main religion affiliation in Nauru are as follows: Nauru Congregational Church, 35.7% of the population, making it the largest denomination on the island. Roman Catholic Church, 32.96% to 33% of the population. Assemblies of God, approximately 13%. Nauru Independent Church, around 9.5% to 10%. Baptist, 1.5%. Other Christian groups including Seventh-day Adventists, Jehovah's Witnesses, and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, each with a very small presence. Minority and other religion. China's folk religion including Confucianism, Buddhism, Taoism, practiced mainly by the ethnic Chinese community, which make up about 3 to 5% of the population. Other world religions, Hinduism, Islam, and Judaism, are present but extremely small, each accounting for about 0.1% of the population, fewer than 10 individuals per faith. Non-religions estimates range from 1.3% to nearly 5% of the population reporting no religion affiliation. Nauru is one of the smallest and most remote countries in the world, known for having one of the lowest number of tourists annually, only about 200 visitors per year. Tourism is not a major economic sector in Nauru, and tourist facilities are very limited compared to neighboring Pacific countries like Fiji or New Caledonia. Attractions and activities. Despite its small size, Nauru offers some unique attractions. Annieberry Bay, the best white sand beach on Nauru, ideal for sunrise view and ocean scenery, though the currents can be dangerous for swimming. Camel Ridge, the highest point on the island, 71 meters, offering panoramic views of Nauru and World War II relics such as bunkers and Japanese artillery. Buanda Lagoon, the only freshwater lagoon on the island, surrounded by tropical vegetation and good for leisurely walks or bird watching. Mokwa Caves, limestone caves with an underground lake interesting for shore exploration. World War II remnants, numerous relics like guns, bunkers, and ruins of Japanese prison camps can be found around Yaren and Comet Ridge. Topside, the central area of the island, heavily mined for phosphate with a lunar-like landscape due to extensive mining.
Nauru is a small island nation in the Pacific, operates under a parliamentary representative democratic republic system. This framework, established by its 1968 constitution, divides governance among the executive, legislative, and judicial branches, each with distinct roles and responsibilities. Executive branch. The President of Nauru serves as both the head of state and the head of government, elected by the members of the unicameral parliament. The President appoints a cabinet from among the parliamentarians to oversee various ministries. As of October 30, 2023, David Adeang holds the presidential office. Legislative branch. Nauru's parliament consists of 19 members elected for 3-year terms. Election conducted in multi-seat constituencies, with voting being compulsory for all citizens aged 20 and above. Notably, Nauru lacks formal political parties. Most candidates run as independents, and political alliances often form based on familial ties. Nauru's education system is structured and overseen by the Department of Education, aiming to provide accessible and quality education to all citizens. Here's an overview of its key components. The first one is the structure of the education system. Compulsory education. Children aged 5 to 16 are required to attend school, covering preschool through year 10. Education is provided free of charge during this period. And then post-compulsory education. Years 11 and 12 are optional but available for students wishing to pursue further studies. Next, we have educational institutions. Preschools. There are 5 preschools catering to early childhood educations. Secondary schools. Education from year 7 to year 12 is offered at Nauru College and Nauru Secondary School. Private education. Kaiser College is the only private school offering education up to year 11. Next, we have tertiary and vocational education. University of South Pacific Nauru Campus. It's established in 1987. USP offers courses in areas such as accounting, management, primary education, and English studies. Overseas education. Many students pursue higher education in countries like Australia, often through scholarship programs. Next is curriculum and language. Curriculum. The education system follows a British-based model with recent efforts to incorporate Nauruan culture and language, as well as life skills and technical education. Language of instruction. Both Nauruan and English are used in schools, reflecting the country's bilingual nature. Educational outcomes and challenges. Literacy rate. Nauru boasts a high literacy rate of 96%, indicating effective basic education. Challenges. The education sector faces issues such as limited resource, infrastructure needs, and reliance on external funding. Efforts are ongoing to address these challenges through policy reforms and international partnerships.
So, first one, when does this start? Indonesia and Nauru established formal diplomatic relations on December 22nd, 2012, marking Indonesia's 183rd diplomatic partnership among the 193 UN member states. Purpose and scope of the relationship. The diplomatic engagement aims to enhance cooperation across various sectors, including climate change, disaster risk management, and South-South cooperation. Both nations have also collaborated on issues within the United Nations and other international forums. Key aspects of cooperation. Indonesia's Look East policy underscores its commitment to strengthening ties with Pacific nations like Nauru. This policy focuses on capacity building, offering training and educational programs in areas such as agriculture, fisheries, disaster management, and governance. From 1999 to 2016, Indonesia implemented 182 programs benefiting 1,457 participants from Pacific countries, including Nauru. Trade and economic relations. While specific trade volumes between Indonesia and Nauru are not extensively documented, their economic cooperation is facilitated through regional forums and initiatives. Indonesia's participation in events like the Pacific Exposition promotes trade and cultural exchange, providing platforms for Nauru to engage with Indonesian businesses and explore economic opportunities. So, in summary, the Indonesia-Nauru relationship is characterized by mutual efforts to address shared challenges and promote development through diplomatic, educational, and economic collaborations.
Nauru, an island nation in the Central Pacific, is one of the smallest countries in the world, covering just 21 square kilometers and home to fewer than 12,000 people. Historically, Nauru's prosperity was built upon its vast phosphate reserves, which provided the country with a wealth that allowed it to enjoy one of the highest per capita incomes in the world during the 1970s. This small island nation's economic story is a story of sudden wealth, poor management, and environmental deviation that culminate in severe economic challenges by the late 20th century. The discovery of phosphate in Nauru marked the beginning of its economic rise. Phosphate, a mineral rich in essential nutrition for plant growth, was found in abundance on the island in the early 20th century. These phosphate deposits, which had accumulated over millennia from the droppings of seabirds, were of extremely high quality. By the 1920s, Nauru became a key supplier of phosphate to the global market, particularly for use in fertilizers. Phosphate mining began under Australian administration and continued under the Nauruan government after independence in 1968. Nauru's phosphate wealth allowed the country to achieve an extraordinary economic boom. By the 1970s, the island's GDP per capita was among the highest in the world, and the Nauru phosphate royalties trust was created to manage the substantial revenues from phosphate exports. The government invests these funds in various international ventures, including real estate and business. At its peak, the country's per capita income was higher than that of many developed nations, and the people of Nauru enjoy high standards of living, with universal education, healthcare, and infrastructure. This wealth, however, was not sustainable. The country relied heavily on single commodity phosphate, as the global market for phosphate fluctuated and the island's phosphate reserves were being depleted at an unsustainable rate. Nauru's economy began to experience signs of distress. By the early 1990s, much of the phosphate had been mined, and the government found itself with diminishing resources to support its economy. The fall of Nauru's economy. The economic collapse of Nauru was precipitated by several factors. First and foremost was the depletion of phosphate reserves, which had been mined extensively without sufficient attention to long-term sustainability. In addition, The funds accumulated through phosphate exports were often mismanaged or squandered. Despite receiving large revenue from phosphate mining, the government failed to diversify its economy or invest in long-term development. Much of the wealth from phosphate export was spent on luxury items and international investment, including a failed attempt to establish a large international airline, Air Nauru, which ultimately became a financial burden on the country. The environmental consequences of intensive phosphate mining were also disastrous. More than 80% of Nauru's land became uninhabitable due to mine operation that left large sections of the island barren and infertile. The landscape was scarred by extensive excavation, and the country faced several challenges in terms of agriculture and food security. Much of the island's infrastructure was also damaged by the effect of mining, leading to an economic collapse by the mid-1990s. The collapse of the phosphate industry led to rising unemployment, poverty, and economic instability. Nauru became heavily dependent on foreign aid and began seeking alternative sources of revenue. One of the most controversial solutions was the agreement with Australia to host offshore detention centers for asylum seekers. These centers became a significant source of income for Nauru, but they also attracted widespread international condemnation for human rights abuse and the mistreatment of detainees. In recent years, Nauru has explored alternative economic opportunity to refill its fortunes. The government has pursued deep sea mining in an effort to generate revenue from other natural resources, although this remains a challenging and unproven sector. The island also continues to rely on financial services, including offshore banking, which provides limited economic returns. Despite these efforts, Nauru remains heavily dependent on foreign assistance and is struggling to overcome the legacy of its phosphate-based economy. Nauru's story is a cautionary tale of the dangers of over-reliance on a single natural resource. While phosphate brought initial wealth and prosperity, the country's inability to manage its resources wisely and diversify its economy has led to long-term economic and environmental challenges. Today, Nauru is working to rebuild and diversify its economy, but the scars of its past remain deeply entrenched.
Okay, so on the conclusion, Nauru's journey from a prosperous phosphate-driven economy to one marked by environmental degradation and financial instability offers a powerful lesson in sustainability, governance, and resilience. Despite its small size and isolation, Nauru has maintained a strong cultural identity, a functioning democratic system, and valuable international partnerships, especially with Australia and Indonesia. Its diverse heritage, rich traditions, and historical challenges make it a unique case in Pacific Island development. Moving forward, the nation's recovery and growth depend on strategic planning, diversification, ecological restoration, and responsible governance. Nauru's story serves as a critical reminder that economic success must be balanced with sustainability and foresight, particularly for small island nations vulnerable to external and internal pressure.